I'm Reena Borkar and I'm from Goa. Life was just going on, normal life. I would say extra normal because I was like multitasking, doing everything in the house like at a very young age. Cooking to washing to like even cleaning my brother's nappies because my mom had got swelling in her body and things like that, and I really learned everything at a very young age. So I used to like even do banking. I remember all of that, and in spite of all of that, like even in my school, God has always blessed me. Like I was among the toppers. I love knowledge. Even now I love knowledge. Like I'm very curious about things. Anything that catches my attention, I need to know what it is about, and like everything, I'll try and find out a way about it. And that was something that kept me always on my toes. When I suddenly got this disease, the affliction that I got when I was 12-year-old, I was not even aware like what's happening to me then. I was just coming back normally from school and I noticed some pain in my ankle and I did not know what was happening. So after that, it was a Saturday. Sunday came and there was this vegetable vendor. She had come into the place and she was like looking at us, and she just noticed my ankle. She's like, there is swelling in your ankle. That is when I just like, everyone was looking, okay fine, and I was like, I told my mom, yeah, I was getting some pain since yesterday, I don't know what it was, but she's like, that's like solid swelling there. So then that's when we realized, okay, there's something, but we didn't think it was something major, maybe something, but then both the ankles were swollen, so you never know. This went on. Monday came, and by that time my knees got swollen, and within a month's time all my joints got swollen. And by that time we had gone to the doctor. Definitely our family doctor was there and he had a look and he was fine. He said this is something really serious, because the swelling is rapidly increasing without any stop. It's just going from one joint to the other, covering both the joints, and of every every area in the body got covered. So he said this could be really scary because it could just hurt your heart, and I can even die. So it was that bad. So he said there's just one specialist who comes, so that specialist comes once a month from Mumbai, and you'll need to go to that doctor. It is like a case of arthritis. That name really was new to us. We did not know what arthritis was. We belonged to a simple middle class family wherein we knew our simple joys of life. That is it. After that, this was something weird because I was in complete pain. I couldn't do a thing. I was about to answer my first term exams and couldn't. It was getting difficult. So I remember falling down from once I was coming down from the slope during my school time. I was just coming back home and I fell down because of the pain. It was so bad. I couldn't control, I couldn't balance myself. I remember that kind of intense pain that I got. That's when I came home, I told my parents it's really getting too much, and they were scared. So they showed me the doctor. Once the doctor came in, he looked at the x-rays and he said this is one of the most severe case that I am seeing in my career, and this is really very severe in terms of the kind of damage that has taken place in the hip joints as well as the knees. It's irreparable damage and very severe, something that is so not common for this age group. And we were like, what is he saying? So there was something very shocking to hear, because he was asking were there any symptoms that came along. Symptoms? Not really, because nothing major, some pain here and there in the muscle, calf muscle, for which I was taken to the doctor by my parents, because my parents really love me a lot. They've always loved me because I was their first child, and definitely that kind of bonding was there, and it was all there. So they never could see me in pain or anything. So the doctors always said that it's just maybe a growth pain or something, but it just went on, and we just neglected that but when this thing came in, we were all scared. Okay, now what? We asked the doctor what to do, because there was swelling, huge swelling, which was really big, and it was not making me live comfortably. And my exams were also there. So the doctor gave me some really strong medications which were affecting me in a way. It was making me feel better, but the kind of side effects were really bad, and he even mentioned that the side effects will be there, but we cannot help it. I had to take a month's break from school because it was getting worse, and although the medications were there, all the strong ones, and I was feeling bad about stuff like what is happening in my life, and it went on to such a stage that I completed that year somehow, and I had to take 1 year break then because I was just unable to even stand up. The condition was getting like from bad to worse. I remember my parents used to actually like turn me on the bed because I couldn't move even a single inch, and every joint in the body would pain so much, like every single, including the jaw, it was like all tuck 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 tuck, all the sound of the bones I still remember it so much, and it was painful. And I was on the bed one day, I remember that very clearly. I thought I'm going to die now because the pain was so much. The kind of feeling that was there, it was like as if I'm nearing the end. It was really bad, and I told my mom, I was crying out to her, and I was like, I remember this one dress that I really wanted, but I know I'll never be able to wear that, and things like that. I got so emotional, I started crying. So was my mom getting emotional? She was like, don't say this thing, God is there. And I think that was the faith, the thing that I heard in her voice, that faith that you will live, don't say such things, have complete faith in God. I think that really kept me alive that night, because otherwise I thought that was the last day of my life, because it was really like a strong, overwhelming feeling that I am not going to be there now. It's all done. And any which ways I was feeling that feeling about that thing that I'm a vegetable now, I cannot do anything, I'm just there on the bed, I'm troubling my parents unnecessarily, wherein I was the one who's actually helping them out because they needed me then. I was like the second man in the house, you could say. My papa was always out because he was working for the mines, and he was so all the time so busy and coming late at night, and like he couldn't really do much. But I was the one who was actually doing all of these things, like supplementing and helping at home. And I was seeing so much of suffering, so much of pain. My small little brother, he was just like a 3-year-old, and mama, she couldn't handle. So that was all going on. But somehow that faith in my mom's eyes, and the thing that she said, just we'll start reading the Bible, you have faith. And she used to like cry out to God, like praying whole night, and it was all there. I could see that, and I used to feel. I think that faith started building inside me. Although as I mentioned, I was always close to God. Like in a way, I knew God existed, and I had this strong pull towards God, but I didn't actually know like how to go about things. I was feeling lost at that point because I had so many aspirations. I wanted to be a doctor and so many things that I wanted to do in my life, and this was like, okay, like a full stop kind of a thing that was almost about to be jotted down on the paper, and I was like, no, this is, my soul was also battling it out. At that moment in time, like my friends, people who I thought were my friends, and I was too young then, but still I remember the strong friendships that I had then. I used to feel like, okay, they are my friends and they'll be with me, but no, not really. No one really stands with you when you are alone and when you are suffering. I was just wondering and thinking to myself, why am I suffering so much? And I used to question God, why me? What did I do wrong? I know I was a little rebellious child, like not giving back answers and things like that. I just used to speak out my mind. So I thought maybe because of that I get this thing, because some of my close relatives mentioned that because you were like, so stubborn and things like that, maybe because of that you're suffering now. Those things used to haunt me. Am I like, was it such a big crime that I was doing, like something really, this thing that I'm getting so much of pain? No, I thought I was not deserving it. No, there were so many instances in my life that actually made me feel that some people who can hurt you with their words, you don't really require swords to do that. There was this one lady who came to our house, like a known person. She came and she was mentioning stuff, and then she mentioned the thing about my physical ailment. She's like, oh, she's not well, and what can happen is you all can like actually try for the physically handicapped certificate. Things will be really easy for her, and you do not have to worry about her. You have 2 more kids to look after, and things will be all fine. So don't worry about her future and things like that. These kind of people, they'll actually get things easy, because jobs are all reserved and stuff like that. I felt bad when she said, and she also mentioned the word physically handicapped, which really hurt me. And that was this anguish inside me, the pain. I wrote this poem, Identify Your Mental Handicap, and I felt some release coming in there when I wrote that, because it was really piercing me, her words. Yeah, I knew someday this lady will see the glory of God through me, and I knew it then. I was so sure about it. I felt bad about such instances. They really hurt you and they poke you somewhere. They're like, why are we like this? If we cannot help someone, do not say such things. Use always good words, helpful words. But there are people out there who do not understand all of that, and really pray for them. Now I can say that I can forgive them. At that point in time, I was really bitter about all of this. I wanted to be a doctor, as I mentioned, so I even waited for it. I took my admission in science. Then I realized it is actually difficult in terms of climbing the stairs and going, because floors were at different level, chemistry, then physics, and then bio. After the 11th standard, I was trying to enroll myself in 12th, but I could never go. For 3 years, I was at home after that. Terrible pain. I couldn't even get up from the chair, get up from the bed. So many pillows had to be stacked on the bed, and then slow movement, that slow movement was equal to 15 minutes. Just to place myself on that pillow, to get an elevation to get up, not possible. Mama had to push me on the chair. It was so painful, so painful. Like small crack on the floor, it would get that jerk, I would get pain. It was that terrible. In 1999, we tried coming to Potas. We all got ready, we went in the train, but look at the thing. What happens is, it's me, my mom and my dad, we are all sitting in the train, and the train is not moving. There's some problem, some derailment happened there, and we are waiting for the train to move, and then the announcement comes in saying that y'all sleep, the train will be moving in a while. And I get up early in the morning by 6 o'clock, and I'm asking my Papa, which station have we reached? And it says we are still in Goa. The train did not move, because there was really heavy rain that night, and that's the reason this train got cancelled. No announcement whatsoever. We are there in the train. I thought it was a joke. I was like, Papa, no, because I had that one hope that I am going to get well by going there. I've heard that people getting healed, I've read it, and no, this cannot happen. This is just not fair. When I came to know that was really the truth, the train did not move, I felt the entire mountain kind of falling on me. I said, no, this is really not done. I felt bad. We had to return back home. Again, all the hopes lost, and I'm living my life in the same way with all the pain. I've lost that 1 year. I'm at home. I could see my school right there. It was the hilltop. I could see it from my window, because I used to be in the hall and all the time crying and looking at that. I could have been there and completing my studies and doing stuff. Then again, by God's grace, we decided after I think 3 or 4 months, we again booked the tickets for the retreat. And this time I was praying, God, no, this time nothing should happen. I really want to experience God, that healing. Not really God at that time. I wanted to be healed. I wanted to be well. I had read about people just standing without their sticks, and people getting all kinds of healings. So, and I was also praying this prayer for healing and other things which was there on the Divine Voice. I came with my family here. At that time, I would say not something that I experienced, but somehow that faith, the seed of faith was sowed in my heart. I knew God was there for me. There is something I was expecting an instant miracle, I'll just stand up from my wheelchair, I'll be fine. I was there on the wheelchair, there sitting and completely frail, without any life inside me, all like a skeleton. Something prompted us to come back again. We went again. When we went second time to the retreat center, that was the time, I think again, that slowly, again nothing instant happened. Again I was expecting the same thing, I'll be better, again I was on the wheelchair sitting there, because I couldn't wheel around and walk around. My parents used to actually get food to the room sometimes, carry me everywhere here. I remember that. I did not even see the place properly, because I did not have the patience and that humiliation of being on a wheelchair. I remember people looking at me when I was on the wheelchair, and people were all like, okay fine, who is she, and all the curious eyes looking, and it was so hurting. I was crying, I had tears in my eyes, yet they were looking, and I used to say to my mama, Papa, why are they looking at me? Just tell them look away, I do not like the look. What is it? This can happen to even them. Why are they looking at me and things like that? So they couldn't answer me. They were in tears themselves, but couldn't help it then. Now I understand. Whenever there is some person walking and someone who has pain, I never look, because I know how it feels. You never want to be, you don't want this feeling that, okay, I am something different, I'm not someone who's fit for this normal society. The third time when I was at the retreat, it actually did change my life, I was praying, this inner healing retreat was going on, and I suddenly felt my eyes were all closed, Blessed Sacrament, and I could see from my inner eyes that Jesus is coming down from the Blessed Sacrament, and he's just like very close to me. There were like around 1,000 people in that hall, yet I could feel this close presence. Never felt something like this before till date. It was like, okay, someone really strong is there, and I could feel like overwhelming joy. I was like laughing and I was crying at the same time. I'm like, God, I know you're really there, because I saw you coming down from there for me, and you're there, right there near me. So yet just that thing that if you could like really do something, I knew that part wherein I shouldn't test God. So I was like, God, I'm not trying to test you, but there's something that you can like really show me, that is it like really you? Believe you me, it was at that moment in time my name was announced on the stage. There was this message, Reena, my dear child, I am going to be with you till the end of time. And it was just right at that moment, not 1 minute later, not 1 minute before. It was the greatest thing ever, because I was like, Jesus, you are really there, so alive, and you can change my life, and you are definitely changing. And from that moment, that message has stood true to me. I was gradually getting like there, kind of like, I wouldn't say like completely better, but yeah, I was getting out of that painful condition wherein in the year 2005 I was told by my doctors, when they looked at my x-rays, they said again the same thing, you will not be able to walk normally, you will not be able to walk at all, you have to be like this, like restricted to a stick or maybe a walker, and just be there till maybe when you're 21. We can then replace your joints, and like the major joints like the knees and the hips have to be replaced, otherwise there's no hope for you. And he gave me this huge list of medicines which I already knew, and because I had a lot of interest in science, I was reading journals, I knew what was happening. There was no cure for juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, so I was like, okay. So I told my parents, I looked at them, I said, I do not want to take all of this. My father was a little like anxious. He said, then how are you going to like go about, because you are in such bad pain and shape. I said, do not worry, the God who has created me, if he wants me to be better, I will be better. He can recreate every single joint and everything just the way he had made me. I knew about the fasting prayer, so I took it up as a challenge, and I had stopped all the medication. I could bear hunger, I could bear pain. When I could bear pain, anything else is possible. So I was just like going on and on and on fasting, and I actually noticed healing taking place in my body in terms of my shoulder was kind of dislocated, because my papa used to carry me everywhere. The doctors, when I had admitted in the hospital, they had seen that dislocation, but they didn't really treat it because they thought it's all a part of one thing. I felt a different kind of pain in my shoulder. So I could then lift my shoulder, and it was a different kind of a relief that I noticed that pain is gone. And I was like, God, like you're really working out things for me. Even before this, I had noticed my finger getting straight at the Divine Retreat Center when I was there like 2 years ago. So I knew God is for real. So it was all working. Then I was walking with a walker. After that, I started walking with a stick. Within like 1.5 months, I came down from the stairs on my own. After 2 years' time, I could walk down the stairs, and there were tears of joy in my parents' eyes. And since then, it has not stopped. The healing is going on. It's like this gradual thing. It took years. When I was expecting instant things, but it just took years, but it really did come across slowly but surely. So I was getting better, all right. So that was all happening. No medications, nothing. Like, my condition demanded me to take at least one painkiller daily, because otherwise I couldn't sustain. I couldn't bear that kind of pain. It was terrible. I had always this thirst to do something greater. I just told God, all these years I've lost. I'm now back here after like I've lost 3-4 years. So all my classmates, they have like gone ahead, they've completed their graduation, they're working also. I was feeling bad about that. Although I've lost my years, I know you can help me regain everything that I've lost in double measure and more than that. So yeah, I need your help. I started. I was really like studying and doing my stuff and everything, like completely disciplined life. Now no medications, yet I was like walking and doing my stuff. I got my results. I stood third in Goa board, and I was interviewed. My interview was even there on the news channel of Goa. It felt so good, and I'd even got this highest in English in the entire of Goa. I got that award as well. Third year, I stopped taking the stick. I just told God, from today I'm not taking the stick, and I just took courage. I started walking like that. with a lot of pain. But yeah, it was like a journey that I had taken, that no, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like free. I want to be like normal. God did something really wonderful. I got this call, and that said that I'm getting this award, which is Best Marketing and PR Person of the Year, runner-up, which is like second prize. I just called up my father and I said, this is what I've got to know. My mama and papa, I told them both, we need to go to Delhi. It's in Oberoi's, and wow, like, you know, we have to go and collect the award. And wow, like, I'd never been to north of India, and it was like a fascination for me. Me and my papa went. First time we stepped in the Oberoi's, papa was like, he was telling me this one thing. I never thought I'll be able to, like, you know, I'll be coming to a place like this with such, like, all these eminent personalities, all these big people all around, and they were all coming and congratulating me when I got my award. Normal girl from nowhere who was like actually going through so much of pain like just few years ago, and she's just there standing, the one who used to feel inferior about so many things, just then this glamorous part, and everyone is like shooting, clicking pictures, and I was like, okay, God, this is why, like, you know, I know you had always had a thing that he'll lift me up. I knew that. And as I mentioned, all my classmates, they had like reached another milestone in their life in terms of their career. I knew this was a way, because till date I do not remember or know of any of my classmates getting in something of this level. So God has actually lifted me up to that level, and I'll only glorify God for that, because it's so powerful. There were these people from Times of India. They wanted to interview me. The journalist came down. She took my interview. When she came, I just told her one thing. This award is one thing. I've got so many awards, so many things for the whatever achievements that are there. It's all because of God. But I want you to highlight one thing. The main thing about this article should be that it should be for the glory of God. So mention God. Jesus has healed me. I want that there. When people read it, it should inspire people to know that there exists a God who sees all your pain. So the entire article, it really was echoing that thought. It was like miraculously healed by Jesus Christ, and the girl who never said die, that was the title of that article. It came on page 2 and was such a huge one, like, you know, like occupying 1/3 of the page, and it was the greatest thing, because I had a picture with my mom and dad, me when I was like unwell with a stick and all, completely pale and like dead, and people said there is no hope. The doctors who had said she'll not be able to survive, doctors who had said she'll never be able to walk, same girl there. At that point, people actually told me that we are touched and we are inspired to actually trust in God, and we know there exists a God because we can see it through your life. So I was getting better, and this was in 2013 that I went to the doctor. He was happy to see me because he'd seen me suffering then and all. He's like, okay, fine, you're getting better. I said, yeah, doctor, I'm not taking any medication. He's like, okay, let me have a look at your x-rays. So he was comparing them, and he was this a look of astonishment on his face. He's like, have you done something to your joints? I said, no, doctor, I'm not taking any medications. So he's like, because there is change in your joints, like the joints that were 8 years before and now, you're much better now than you were then, and you can walk with these joints for 10-15 years more. The same joints that I was told like 8 years ago that you'll never be able to walk, now he's telling me this. So I said, doctor, not just that, I'll never be replacing the joints, because I know I'll walk on and on and on, and it's all glory for God, like, you know, glory to God, because he's the one who's actually healed me, and I'm so much better now. Then I remembered this one thing. I had this thought very prominent in my mind for around 2 years. This was when I was like 8 to 9 year old. I used to always go with my papa, like, you know, on the scooter, and like standing there on the thing and observing everything, asking him questions at every 2 minutes, and he would be like still answering me in the most patient way possible, like, what is this, what is that, and things like that. And then I remember seeing these old people who are not able to walk and like just going in pain, and people who are unwell people. So these thoughts were like coming in my mind, why are they suffering so much? God, give me that kind of pain, like, you know, I want all the pain, let others not suffer, I'll take it. Maybe that was there because I could not see suffering. I was always like hurt by people being unwell. I'd seen my own mom suffering because of migraine, severe migraine. She used to just lie down for 4 days. I could see her in terrible pain, all irritated, and cannot take that pain. And because maybe I'd seen that suffering in my own house, I think that thing, that pain should not be there in this world. I could feel it. So I remember saying that, and I do not regret saying something like that, but then I think it was a way to make me more human, understand pain in the deepest way possible, because without me getting it, how will I know what is the pain out there? Although I do regret the fact that I couldn't become a doctor, but it's fine. I think I'm doing well. Whatever it is God has chosen for me, the kind of things that I can do with my writing. I love writing. I like to sing as well. So I want to do so many things now. I've written poems. I've got prizes also for that. I've got prizes for my singing, although I've not done any kind of professional singing or whatever, no learning. I want to do all of that, and I want to write my own book, which the title of which I've thought is The Faith That Moved My Mountains. So I would want to write something like that. God has really worked wonderful things in my life, and I want to actually go into the writing field as well and write blogs and compose music. I want to learn music first of all, then singing, and then do stuff, and I want to do things for God. I want to really volunteer and do stuff also. Let's see, I don't know what God has in mind for me, but I know it's all good. I trust in God that much. Praise the Lord. Cast all your burdens unto Him, for He cares for you. Don't worry about anything, He'll provide it all. The walls of grief will come crashing down, and tears of happiness will rise. The turbulent waters of life will be still once again. So stand up and let your faith meet arise. Just trust and trust in Him. The true essence of prayer is in believing the Lord. Let your every fiber illuminate with the brightness of hope. So stand up and let your faith meet arise. Just trust and trust in Him.